It's High Time Reviews. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. This is PowerBook 2, Season 3, Episode 2, Need versus Greed. So we start the episode out and you got Jenny basically telling the story about what happened to Lauren that night. And you see the flashback and you notice that, Effie, you didn't even do your job right. Like, all right, cool, she was knocked unconscious. You drove into the lake. You didn't even give it enough, like, room to, like, you were so close to the lake already when you put it in. I just don't see how the car was going to fall in there fast enough. So she tells her, like, well, you know, you was knocked unconscious. You was put in the car. You was driven outside of the city. And then your car was being driven into a lake or pushed into a lake or whatever. Mind you, you pushed the car. Effie, you could have put the fucking car in fucking drive, put the motherfucking brick on a motherfucking pedal, anything. But you thought pushing the car in neutral was probably the best play. And then you didn't even see the shit through. For me, that's the worst shit about the whole thing, is that you didn't see it through. So now this guy that was walking his dog is the only reason why Lauren ass is even still alive, because he walked past, seen the fucking car still kind of like floating in the lake. And I'm just like, well, that's because she didn't wait. She didn't wait to make sure that the shit went through the fucking lake. And I'm just like, how is this a smart play? I feel like at that point, you wanted to make sure you got caught, Effie. Or make sure that at least you didn't actually kill Lauren because you didn't want to be a murderer. But we'll see. We'll see. So you got her and Lauren fussing because Lauren like, listen, I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. Like, and she tell her, like, Lauren, you can't go nowhere. You can't call nobody, especially not your parents. She like, your parents thinking you're dead is the only thing keeping you alive, especially considering that we trying to build this case. And she like, listen, I don't know shit about no case, but I know who did this to me. I done already tried to tell you, you need to go lock her ass up. So Jenny basically ended up telling her, like, listen, I believe you in everything you saying about Effie, for Effie did this to you, but this case is bigger than just Effie herself. It's like, we need to try to take down everybody that was involved in trying to kill you, you feel me? So she ended up bringing up, so Jenny ended up bringing up, like, the case or whatever, and she's saying, like, what? So, yeah, I know Braden and Effie work together, and, you know, Jenny like, yeah, I'm sure they do, but I'm sure that the case goes beyond them two, you know, so she ends up showing him her a file on Tariq. First thing I think when I see this file up with Tariq in it is, why the fuck did they use that picture out of all bitches? That fucking mugshot where he was whooped on, proving that the man can't fight for shit, proving that he need a damn car so he can get away from some shit. Like, come on. So she like, I don't have any evidence that Tariq is working with Braden and Effie, and neither do you. I said, well, she got a point. Jenny, don't waste this girl whole fucking 20s trying to fucking keep her hidden because you think you got a case and you ain't got shit for real. You just like Sax. Just reaching, just a fucking reaching. Now, she also tell her that by her being dead or allegedly dead, it saves her from everybody, including the Tejadas and all of them. I said, you know what? Jenny, that part you're right about, because I'm sure that if Kane knew she was still alive, he would probably kill her and press down on fucking Effie and them about why they couldn't get that job done. Right. So in the next scene, you got all of them at the warehouse. You got Kane, Braden, Effie, and then you got the dude, Noma, right-hand man. And he basically come in and he like, listen, Moma out of town and I'm still stuck babysitting y'all fucking silly Americans. And I'm just like, bro, you need to relax. Because if you feel that way, just don't come back. Like, I'm sure you can hire somebody else to do what you do, which is a whole bunch of nothing. And, you know, Tariq tell him, like, you know, even though he say to Tariq, like, yeah, I told Moma, I don't know why she gave y'all a chance. Y'all ain't gonna do shit but fail. Tariq told him, clearly she don't take too much of your word as bond, you know what I mean? Like, clearly she don't hear what the fuck you say, so, because we're still here, we're still alive. So he gonna tell Tariq, like, listen, boy, I can't wait to shoot your ass. I said, I bet. So they all in there and they trying to strategize. Mind you, Kane got some niggas that he done grabbed up off the street. You know, he gonna use Lorenzo and Drew to move the package to set up, like, you know, new staples in other places or whatever. After he gonna go to the Ivy Leagues, Mansfield is off limits because, you know, course correct went left, and now I'm sure it's hot as shit. So I wouldn't recommend they try selling drugs up there anyway. You feel me? So they all end up leaving out or whatever, and Braden and Tariq is talking because Braden is like really pushing this idea of like selling drugs at his father's business. And he like, listen, boy, is you fucking dumb or stupid? He like, I'm not selling drugs anywhere that has your name fucking printed on it or anything in relation to your family. He like, bro, you confessed to selling drugs in open court and got a 6-figure salary. He like, I fucking didn't even do shit. And I'm technically innocent, and I don't even have fucking housing for school. So he like, damn, how that happened? He like, yeah, because of the whole shit with course correct. And then he like, yeah, but Tate helped me get a place. He like, how the fuck Tate helped you get a place? He dirty as shit. He like, yeah, but you know, Tate the right type of dirty. And you already know, Tate is the right type of dirty. You just link up with Tate. You tell him you're gonna give him a little hefty donation to his campaign. That's all they need. So Braden out there geeking, talking about, listen, if we do this on Wall Street, we can have everyday Ferraris, everyday Lambos, the Yaris, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And then Effie just looking like, no, nigga, you being corny. So Tariq go over to Effie and he like, look, I'll take the ride with you to Princeton or whatever, you know, to drop the package off. And she like, nah, I just do it myself. And then she give this whole sob story about how she ain't doing this because she want to. She doing it because she need to. And Tariq tell her, bitch, Noma gonna kill all our asses if we don't sell this shit. So what the fuck you mean? Like, he like, I'm not doing it for fucking fun. Like, mind you, Tariq ain't had fun since he became like a teenager on regular power. I ain't seen the boy crack a smile or have fun in months. Years. In years. So I don't know what she think. His life ain't peachy. I mean, if he sells some of them clothes and some of them watches, he might go get a fucking car, but I'm just saying. Okay, so can we talk about the next scene, how when Method Man came in there to talk to Monet about how basically they ain't got no evidence on fucking Zeke killer. There's this episode of like, I don't know what type of courtroom show it is, but somehow Young Jock is on the episode in the show. Now, the way they keep positioning the scene, Method Man is literally standing, Davis is standing right there, right? And then the show is still in the cut. So you could still, the whole time Davis is doing his back and forth with Monet, you could keep seeing the court show in the background. So you literally just keep seeing Young Jock in the background of the episode. And I'm just thinking to myself, considering everything that happened with Megan James lately, and Young Jock, is fucking hilarious that he would be like cameoed inside an episode of Power. So mind you, like I said, Davis ain't got no information for Monet. She told him, look, nigga, you need to do more. It's time for you to start earning your fucking money and find out who killed Zeke. I'm just like, Monet, girl. At this point, let's just say you did it, okay? It's like, what are you going to do when you find out? Like, what are you going to do? Sax. In the next scene, Sax, I just need you to wake up. Because Jenny's playing you, bro. She's playing you to get dirt on Davis, and then she's gonna fucking throw your ass right under the fucking bus as well. She talking about a whole task force that you don't even know nothing about. Yeah, she's trying to build a whole RICO case, which is gonna bring down your fucking business partner and your fucking job. So it's like, go for it, Davis. I mean, go for it, Sax. Go for it. Keep fucking with this bitch, Jenny. She gonna have your ass homeless, and then she keep holding the pussy over you. It can't be that good. It can't be that good that she feel like she can keep holding it over you, like to the point where like, oh, you bring me something, I wouldn't have an issue sleeping with you. So it's like, you only gonna sleep with the man if he can bring you some information. That's weird. You're being weird, Jenny, and you're acting very sexist, like how Sax would act. So in the next scene, we back at Western Holdings, and you know, Kiki come through, and she ends up asking the one boy where his projections at, and he fucking sleep at the desk. So she ends up smacking him up against the head and telling him like she need the reports or whatever. So as she walking away, he calls this girl Omarosa. So I'm just thinking like, first of all, that was racist as fuck. And then respect fucking Braden little boo. Like, what are you doing? She was like, you know, they ended up talking, and she was saying how she can't trust fund, you know, she can't stay in trust fund interns because they don't actually work. Like, they just come in there and are willing to like just be there because of who their father is or who their family happens to be or how much money they done gave to this or that. She just don't fuck with it. And I like Kiki because Kiki give me intern turned full-time employee based off of like just moving how she move. Like, she's dope as shit. Like, and the fact that the uncle probably is the one who hired her, I know she dope because the uncle dope. So Braden goes back to his desk and he looked back over there, and the nigga then basically went back to sleep, disregarded everything that Kiki just said. So I'm like, okay, bad. I see what we do. Oh boy. So in the next scene, I forgot this nigga even was still alive. The fucking DNC dude, the dude that run the oh my god, he's a fucking nuisance. His thing is, he gonna come through and muscle his way through about any and everything. He basically tell Tate like, boy, your numbers suck. When the last time you seen a candidate get nominated without a wife? We need to get you a wife. He talking about, I got potentials lined up. Tate who? Who? The teacher from the school or that lady you had on your arm? Who is it? Who do you have lined up? And then he like, boy, and you need more money coming in. And one thing about Tate, you know, you can find a way to get him some money for that campaign, so you not got to worry. But again, one thing about that DNC dude, he's very much the type to come in there and muscle people. And then he also tells them like, you need like to do something with the schools and shit like that. So he like, oh no, I already got that locked down. He like, you know, I got an intern coming in today or whatever. And I'm just like, But Tate, the thing is, Tate is never really in control as long as he was a politician, excuse me. He's never gonna be in control because the committee always gonna run shit. And so like I always say, you know, the classroom scene lays the foundation for the episode. So you got the Angela Davis, the new teacher, whatever, she's teaching. And if you look on the board, it says Need versus Greed, which is the name for the episode. And, you know, she starts talking about what's the thin line between needing versus being greedy. And, you know, they start going back and forth. And you get to this scene with Diana and Effie, and she telling her like, shit, man, that fucking book right there expensive as shit. Like, I can't see myself paying for these books every goddamn class, every semester. And Effie like, shit, girl, I'd have been there. So Effie ends up telling her like, she's heard that usually the TA keeps a set of books that, you know, the TA is usually willing to loan the students to help them through the course or whatever. So of course, Diana looks over there and, you know, she see her little TA boo. First one was, no. No, you let Tariq take your virginity and then you gonna mess with this goofy ass nigga? No. No, why is she into him? But, whatever. So, in the next scene, we back at Weston Holton's, and the same boy that was sleeping on his fucking work, you know, that Kiki basically tried to get him to do his work. Braden father and them fucking bust up in the motherfucking cubicle section of the office, and he basically tell him like, yeah, you know, we found some basically some racist shit on your laptop, you know, on your work computer. And he like, man, that's a lie, this, that, and the third. We also found like this in your desk. So tell me why these motherfuckers was holding a tiki torch and a shirt, a Hawaiian themed shirt. So they basically tell the boy that he need to grab his shit because he's fired. So he going off. He like, oh yeah, this gotta be a setup. This, that, and the third. My father gonna sue the shit out of y'all. Woody, woody, woo. And I'm like, yeah, well. Now the thing is, he might be right about two things: it being a setup and his father suing him. Because that's probably both of those things is probably true. He a trust fund baby. You know his father gonna say. So of course, Braden ends up letting Kiki know that, like, you know, he set that play in motion because, you know, yo was basically disrespecting him. So Kiki pulls him up and she like, you know, that tiki torch shit was cute, woody, woody, woody. And they get to kissing and fucking, you know, being all over each other. And I'm like, damn, when did they become like a thing? But you know what? I'm here for it because I seen it in the first episode. But when did they become a thing? To the point where they fucking making out in the elevators and shit like that. So Tariq pull up the Tate campaign and lights get Keisha there. And he like, what the fuck? She like, oh yeah, you know, I'm making, you know, I'm pulling in big bank as Tate, new intern, whoopty whoopty whoop. He like, what? How the fuck is you Tate intern when I'm supposed to be Tate intern? And she like, oh, I don't know. So he like, well, look, I need to talk to Tate. So she like, I think he on a call. She like, nah, get him the fuck out of here. So Tate roll up and he like, how the fuck you just gonna give my internship away? And she like, give it away. Yeah, girl, because it was his first. That was part of the deal. Stay out of it. He basically ended up telling Tariq like, listen, nigga, you're still too hot. He said it's not. It wouldn't even be a good look. It wouldn't be a good look to have you here for my campaign. I just can't do it. And Tariq like, so you basically gonna sell me down the river and you promised me an internship knowing that I with everything that I got going on? And I'm just like, Tariq, why did you trust Tate? Why did you think Tate was gonna do anything besides look out for Tate? Hello, it's Tate. And the next thing we had to Tejada residence, and you got Kane and Lorenzo talking, and you know, he trying to give Lorenzo his side of the package, so he like, yo, yeah, so I need you to take this to go set up this for the deals or whatever. And Lorenzo telling him like, nah, nigga, I ain't moving fucking make a product, da 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 da, all this bitch Noma, woody woody whoop. And I'm just like, what? Nigga, it's a whole family affair. We all in on this shit now. Especially as soon as Kane decided to be there in the room when Noma ass showed up, the Tejadas officially was in it. There's no way around it. This, like I said, the second he decided to be in the same room with Tariq and Braden, when them bitches came in there with the guns out and the lights off, the Tejadas was in it. And there's no way around it. So, sir, get with the program. And you want to keep being mad because Monet was about to leave you for this nigga and he ended up being a snitch. I mean, I'm sure you do feel away. So he telling him, like, yeah, you know, you keep thinking Drew the one to run the business, but you can't even get a hold of him. Shit, he probably somewhere laid up with Everett doing this, that, and the third. So, of course, Lorenzo call him and he don't get through. And so he like, yeah, exactly, my point. But I'm just like, hey, you so hell-bent on him letting you run a family business. What family business? Y'all shit is in fucking shambles. He like, what you need to be doing is trying to find out what happened to Zeke for your mother. So how about you do that? I'm like, oh boy. And then of course, in the next scene, as predicted, you got fucking Drew and this nigga Everett together being goofy. He talking about how he going to OKC, this, that, and the third. I'm just like, what? Good for him. Good for him. Because Everett ain't nothing but a whiny cheese to me. Like, you know the type of nigga you dealing with and you still decide to whine about, like, his life. I can see if you ain't know it first, but it's like, now you know. Now you wholeheartedly know the type of shit he be in. And you still decide to act like a little bitch? Like, I just don't get it. Let me tell you something about this. In the next scene, you got Frank's wife, you know, the chick from New York Undercover, the Spanish girl, and you remember her husband on here was the dude Frank who ended up being a snitch or whatever, Uncle Frank. And it's crazy because the way they casted them two as a married couple on here and the fact that they dated on Dexter and were engaged on Dexter is crazy as shit to me. So I guess they must got that type of chemistry. Either that or they together in real life. And I wouldn't even put it past them being together in real life. So she come in, and let me tell you, the bitch looking better than she looked last time they met up. Because the last time they met up, she was all distraught, looking for Frank, trying to figure out what happened to her husband, this, that, and the third. Monet killed her. Monet got him killed. That's what happened to your husband. So then Monet gave her a stack of money and tried to play it off. No, Monet, that's not nice. Can't kill people's husbands and then try to give them a stack of money and think that shit is sweet. No. Now, she came through on her shit. She like, look, I know how I was when I was looking for Frank, but I couldn't imagine if it was one of my baby boys. So she ends up giving her a roll of money. Like, first one was Monet goes for her purse to try to offer her money. And she like, oh, no, that's not necessary, you know. My boys is set up right now. You know, they taking real good care of me, this, that, and the third. So it was some money for you. And I'm just like, oh. I said, oh, so now we're shitting on folks. That's what we do. And of course, Monet ain't prepared to take that bitch money. She's not. She's not, because for as long as Monet's known, Monet was always the one with the upper hand. So now it's fucking, she's giving, yeah, I got bread now. So you know she got bread enough to look into what happened to Frank, especially if she got enough bread to be dropping shit off on your table. So be prepared for that too, because that's going to be something else as well. We back at Stansfield. We in Tariq's room. You got Effie, Braden, and Tariq. They in the room, and Tariq telling them how fucking Tate gave away his internship, and I'm just like, who the fuck cares? Now we gotta move on. We gotta figure out the next play, because we can't sit here dwelling on the fact that Tate gave away your internship. It's over. So they end up having a conversation, and Braden brings up the idea of Tariq basically working at his parents' place as an intern. And I'm just like, how the fuck do you think that that's gonna work? Like, how the fuck? And he like, listen, I already told you, B, like, we're not moving no drugs out of your family shit. So even if I do come there, it's on official capacity. Like, I'm not coming there to sling drugs. So don't ask me. And he like, all right, cool, whatever. So he like, how can you get me in? Of course, he like, man, let's leave that up to me, you feel me? Because your uncle, the uncle is down for whatever. He already told him that he felt like course correct was a good idea. So you just know, if you come to him with the real mastermind of course correct, you know the uncle gonna let that shit. So as soon as Tariq leave out, because, you know, they all excited about Tariq taking the internship at Western Holdings, and I'm like, boy, shit, not a good idea. As soon as Tariq leave out the room, he run down on Effie. He like, I think we should tell him what we did to Lauren. And Effie like, boy, shut the fuck up. How would that be a good play? And he like, we need to earn his trust. She like, you think telling him we killed his girlfriend is going to earn his trust? Braden, shut the fuck up. You got this whole game fucked up. So just shut the fuck up, you know? So in the next scene, shit, you got these two niggas tied to a chair, and Kane is blowtorching these niggas' hands, okay? It appears one of them is the pilot, and then I'm guessing one of them must be, I don't know, a bodyguard or something for Mecca, something. So he's interrogating them about what happened the night of the shooting. And of course, niggas is trying to play tough, not trying to say shit, you know, because they was working for Mecca. They probably, you know, in on the shit too. So the one dude ended up spilling some tea. He like, look, it was a bald head bad, da, 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 big collar on his shirt, woody, woody, woody. So after he get that information, the black guy who was like the security guard or whatever, he must have thought he had a pass, because he like, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Very much. Kane start burning his ear, okay? He like, listen, all I saw was that when the nigga pulled off, he had a busted tail light. I'm like, busted tail light? Lorenzo. And in that moment, Lorenzo knew he had fucked up, okay? And in that moment, Kane knew Lorenzo had fucked up. Boyhead, light-skinned dude, busted tail light. Definitely sound like my father. First day at Western Holdings, Tariq and them is walking through there. They end up meeting the yoga instructor. You know, they end up chopping it up about how Braden need to come back, you know, and finish his workouts or whatever. Well, he also tells Tariq that he should probably come back and work out. So Braden's father stands at the top of the building and screams out Braden's whole entire fucking name and says that they need to have a family meeting. So you got the father, the uncle, Trice, and Braden all in the room. And the father is trying to go. He like, I want him out. Why the fuck is he here? I told y'all need to separate. Whoop. And Braden is telling him, how come I'm the one who sold the drugs and you're telling me I gotta pick my friends? He like, no, I just don't like y'all being associated with. So here go the uncle. Now the uncle jump in and he like, listen, I feel like we can't, you know, turn down a bright, intelligent, you know, African-American student because of how you personally feel about the situation, this, that, and the third, especially considering your drug dealing ass son. I was like, yeah. And then he was like, you know what else is hot right now in the trading world? Inclusivity. You know? So yeah, I'm definitely not turning down the young black boy with the story. So, and again, Braden ended up telling his father, like, first and foremost, you're fucking racist. And then here go Trice. They leaving out the door. Trice talking about, so what we about to take on Juneteenth as a holiday? And then they cut the frame out and Tariq standing right there. I said, now, if Tariq would have went over there and smacked the shit out of Trice, then that would have been a whole thing. Of course, the uncle come out the office. He pulled Tariq in. And then in the next scene, you got Effie, and she you know, she's stretching and divvying up her product, and she got everything labeled up. Now, I see all the schools. Now, tell me why she got one for Stansfield, baby. Stansfield is not supposed to be on the list. Stansfield is not supposed to be on the list after you're doing too much. Why is Stansfield there? Oh, okay. Yeah, because you're about to be doing some sneaky ass shit you ain't got no business doing. Right. I don't trust her. I don't trust her. She might not be the CI anymore, but she's, in my eyes, and I guess a lot of other people's eyes, she could still be the CI. But whatever. I don't trust her. Ain't trust her since she knocked over the chessboard and put regular power. I ain't trust her. Take it or leave it. Diana cute ass, she ended up going to the TA's office in the next scene, you know, to try to borrow the books. And of course, he got the high school, so he gonna give her whatever the fuck she want. And he ends up asking her. Now, as soon as I see the scene, I'm like, damn, this bitch got the Givenchy motherfucking jacket on, this, that, and the third. And the teacher ended up pointing out the fact that she got a Balenciaga book bag. He like, how do you have a Balenciaga book bag? We can't afford the books to go in. And she like, look, my parents only agreed to pay my tuition and board, so I'm basically out here alone. Girl, sell the bag. Sell that damn jacket. Do something. And the next thing, you got Monet driving down the street, and she ended up getting pulled over, and it's fucking Whitman. And my thing is, Whitman, didn't fucking Jenny just tell your ass to sit the fuck down? And I know she told you for a fact that you're not supposed to investigate Monet Tejada. So he rolls up on it, and he tells her that her fucking side mirror is fucked up. I'm looking at the car like, no, the fuck it's not. So he ends up telling her that Zeke came to him about the idea that she may have killed Carrie, this, that, and the third. And Monet basically refuting the whole shit. She like, look, I didn't do shit to Carrie. You know that, because if you did, you would have. If you didn't, you would have just had me out here in the middle of the street booked. He like, whatever. I got the traffic cam footage of you a block away from Carrie's house the night of the murder within the same time frame. I'm like, oh, well. Okay, I mean, you showed that to other people, Whitman, and I'm sure that didn't get you no fucking where. So again, Monet tell him like, look, I don't give a fuck what you got. I don't give a fuck who told you what. And she was definitely in shock that Zeke had went to him. I don't know if that's gonna change her perspective on how she mourning this whole thing, because she might think Zeke a rat, but like, either way, Whitman like, listen, I don't care. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after your whole family, this, that, and the third. She said, listen, if you don't got nothing on me, and you ain't about to book and tag me right now, get the fuck out my face. So he like, all right. And then tell me why this nigga fucking takes his elbow and busts her side mirror on the way out. Whitman. And in the process of that, he pull out fucking Detective Rodriguez fucking card that Zeke gave. I'm like, so now we circling back on the affair that she was having with the detective. Why? All of these things you tried to use already, Whitman, and got you nowhere. You just need somebody to listen. That's the thing. You need one person to believe your bullshit. Now, as soon as that scene happened, I said she need to just call Davis. Right after that, Davis is screaming for Sax, and he's basically asking Sax like, did we ever find out who was surveilling Mecca's crib? Like, she like, nah. He was like, I think you need to look into Detective Whitman. So he calls Jenny. Jenny is in there putting together a whole RICO board with Detective Rodriguez, and he tells her like, oh yeah, he asks her like, yeah, did you ever find that out for me? And she like, nah, I really never found it out. He tells her like, oh, I think you need to look into Whitman. And I'm just like, she know it's fucking Whitman, dickhead. She just can't say shit. She just can't do shit about it. She did what the most she could do by telling him to sit his ass the fuck down. I mean, he even could listen when he died. And Whitman is the type of nigga that's just not. Okay, so Brayden, again, like I said, in the next scene, Brayden is pushing this let's sell drugs at Western Houghton thing to the tip top. So He sends Kiki an instant message and he tells her like, yeah, I think Tariq should help set up for the meeting or whatever. Now, if you remember the meeting last week, or be right before the meeting last week, they was in there doing fucking coke. So Tariq goes, Kiki writes back like, yeah, I forgot, you know, we finally got some interns that can do some shit. So she comes out and she asks Tariq to set up for the meeting. Now Tariq goes to walk into the meeting and he sees them in there fucking doing blow. Now, the fact that Kiki was willing to do that so willingly for Brayden, do she know what's going on with Brayden? They make me wonder. So like I said, he goes in, he sees them doing all this blow, this, that, the third, and he overhears the conversation about how they was trashed the whole weekend, they, you know, this, that, and the third. So Tariq looking at it, so I'm like, okay. So next scene, cut to the next scene, we end up at like an after work function. Because everybody there, Kiki there, but they had a strip club. Kiki there, all the fucking little young partners are there, they just throwing bread, whatever. Now, Brayden ends up telling Tariq that the teacher, the fitness teacher, is the pusher at the job. And he like, yeah, you know, he does it. He puts it in his protein powders and he sticks it in everybody's locker, this, that, and the third. And he like, bro, we can fucking clean up. So Tariq ends up doing the math, this, that, and the third. He like, shit, we can get rid of all the fucking normal product like that if we move it through, you know, Wall Street. And I'm just like, nigga, it's crazy how in a matter of 24 hours you went from not wanting to do this shit to having a whole fucking plan. And it's Brayden, and Brayden is manipulating the fuck out of this situation because it's just, bro, he told you that he didn't want to do it. And the thing is, for me, it's so fucked up because it's like, Brayden, you know that y'all consequences ain't gonna be the same if y'all get caught up. And that's what Tariq was trying to tell him, and that's why he don't want to do that shit at the job. But Brayden so high off the fucking life that he just can't help himself. He can't help himself. He gotta keep his shit going and just give him a rush. Like, Brayden, no, you need to relax, bro. You should have never put him on. Because now I feel like he's acting goofy. I genuinely feel like Brayden is acting fucking goofy. Like, bro, chill the fuck out. Like, now, okay, he like, all right, if we do this, how we gonna get rid of the yoga instructor? You feel me? So they end up chatting it up. He's like, oh no, I got a plan, but we're gonna need Kane help. I'm like, look, you can't, people can't start dying at a job because you know Tariq, it's like bodies and shit follow Tariq. So they can't keep, people can't keep just popping up dead at the job or at school or places that Tariq just started going. It's gonna look crazy. So I don't think y'all should use Kane. I don't think y'all should kill this teacher. But hey, who am I? Who am I? So, in the next scene, you got Drew. I guess he must be walking back from Everett apartment or whatever. And this motherfucking bald head light skinned dude from GTG or whatever the fuck it is, he ends up running down on Drew and beating the shit out of Drew. And I'm just like, what? And he like, yeah, don't think we forgot about that shit you did to us. Motherfucking guaps, you killed them guaps. And he snatches this chain off of Drew. Now, Drew go back to the house. Here's my whole thing. Drew, why don't you be ever fighting back? Not even a little bit. Not saying you should be out here fucking Brooklyn brawling, like you should be like, but bro, come on, really? You don't ever fight back? Ever? So Monet cleaning him up, patching him up. And mind you, he got fucking spray painted on his back by this nigga. And you can sense the tension in the room, you know? So Kane and Lorenzo end up getting into this whole conversation, and he like, I think if they jumped on Zeke, if they jumped on Drew, they probably jumped on Zeke too. So Lorenzo basically made it seem like that the two had a type of correlation. Now he like, all right, bet. You know, Lorenzo wants Kane to find the bald head nigga that jumped on Drew. He like, all right, bet. But to Kane, none of that shit make no sense. None of it make no sense because when they killed the Guaps, niggas didn't know who was there or who it was. So how the fuck would a nigga be able to say, oh yeah, I know what you did to those Guap niggas unless it came from somebody? Right. So the next thing you got Diana and the TA in the bookstore, and I guess he basically about to either hook up with a job or like some type of like book scholarship or whatever. So he, you know, they meet up in the bookstore, they wrapping it up, and like I said, the fact that Diana is even like acting like she's leaning in towards liking this goofy ass nigga to me is weird. Your parents not gonna like him. So what's the point? So they end up wrapping it up, and they talking about like Skittles and how the capitalism got us thinking that Skittles taste the same, even though they actually don't. It's just like the smell, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, damn, that might be a fact. That might be a fact. So, like I said, it clearly looks like it's a job. So she gets a job working at the school. Good for her. He went to go get the paperwork for her for the student job. And in that process, she see Effie and Tariq coming into the store. My whole thing is, y'all all in the same class together, so why is you acting like seeing them two together is a shock and a surprise to you? Now, what was crazy was the fact that Effie had texted Diana Diana had texted Effie like, thanks for the help with the TA shit. You know, he ended up looking out or whatever. Now, them two end up having a moment when they walk into the store together because Effie and Tariq is like kind of like all over each other. Like they was walking arm in arm in the hallway initially at first. And then when they got to the doorway of the bookstore, you know, they had like a little moment or whatever. And Diana ended up seeing them. And the TA ended up seeing Diana see them. And Diana ended up beelining to the motherfucking closet and shit. And I'm like, bitch, why are you hiding? Why? Why are you spying on them? Like, why are you spying on them? Like, you're being mad fucking weird. So, like, mind you, when they go to pay to cash out the leave or whatever, Effie ends up paying for herself, Tariq ends up paying for herself. So maybe to Diana, it probably don't even give off the idea that they're an item. So she probably kind of like receives that or whatever. But they definitely a thing. And I just don't understand how she got the audacity to be jealous. Again, nobody told you to get your virginity up for that man. It's crazy. Nobody told you to do that. Braden and Tate meeting up, and he gives Tate an envelope full of money, and you know, he ends up asking him about light-skinned Keisha, and I'm just like, what? So basically, Braden paid Tate to not give Tariq the job so that Tariq would take the job at Western Holdings just so that they could start moving the product. Really? That's kind of fucked up that Braden would do all of that. Like, that's crazy. That is fucking crazy. So we back at Jenny's spot, you know, where she got the Rico board set up, and Blanca Rodriguez come in, and she basically end up telling her like, yeah, my boss has said we don't got enough to open up the Rico case or whatever. And she said there's no connection between any of this and Dante Spears, and like who's the new connect and where the drugs is coming from. And then Whitman walk in, and I'm just like, oh boy. He like, what's this I hear about you grilling Monet to hide up, woody woody whoop. I thought I told you to stand down. He like, look, if I would have stood down, I wouldn't have this information for y'all. So he starts plugging together the motherfucking board and shit. So then he makes it look like Monet and Tariq are like the kingpin, queenpin of the whole shit. And I'm just like, oh. And that was the first time he met Blanca too. So I'm just like, oh shit, this trio, not a good look. Not a good look. And I'm telling you, Sax is going to be on the outside. So he might as well go ahead and get with the shits. Like, so eventually, like I said, Whitman comes in, rearranges the board, puts Monet and Tariq up there at the head of the board, and he says, like, y'all so focused on this boy, and he is not the kingpin. And he gonna say, at least not alone. And I'm just like, wow. So then they like, well, they go out Rico right there because Monet has clear ties to Dante. And I'm just like, yeah. I hate the fact that she got ties to this nigga. I hate the fact that she even knows this man. Like, so the day's the day. Kane run down on a bald-head dude who ran down on Drew, and he catch him at the little warehouse, and he end up sneaking his 2 men, pop, and he starts beating the shit out of him. And he runs his pockets and shit. And he finds the chain, and it's like a necklace with a ring on it. And I'm just like, what is going on? After Kane get the necklace up off the dude, first of all, Kane, nigga, you knocked him out cold to the point where like you was able to run his pockets and he ain't get away. Okay, my man, hand-to-hand specialist. I hear that shit. So I guess Drew must have missed something he was supposed to do for Everett. So of course he showed up to Everett's dorm room all fucked up. And the thing, and the thing is like, Drew, just stop, because in my opinion, you try and get this man to accept you for who you are, and he just clearly won't. He wants you to be something else. Like, but you showing up being overly fucking emotional, overly aggressive in the hallway of that man dorm room or whatever that is a lot. It was a lot. And you already look fucked up, so you don't want to look like a domestic situation. So just step off. Like, just let that man be. He like, look, I'm about to go to OKC. I'm about to leave you and this driver behind. Bye-bye. Bye. I guess I'm left behind. Drew ended up getting a message from Tariq, and he like, look, we can't reach Kane and we need you down here tonight. Tariq set up a workout with the trainer. So Tariq and the trainer are leaving the workout session. And Tariq go one way and the trainer go another way. Now, what you end up seeing is you end up seeing Drew like posted up against the wall, like tucked off in the shadows, and Drew start following the nigga. And I'm like, damn, what the fuck is Drew gonna do? I'm like, Drew ain't about to blast him in the middle of the street. Like, cause again, I just don't think him coming up dead by like assassination is a good play. Like, I feel like anything but coming up like slaughtered is a good play, you know? So Drew stalks him. They get to like this intersection or whatever, and Drew see this bus, and Drew basically pushed this nigga in front of a bus. But like he do it so slick that like not a bus, but like a small ass box truck. So Drew pushed him in front of the box truck, and I'm just like, oh shit. And I think to myself like, damn, nobody seen that. It ain't no cameras on that corner. It ain't nothing. But Drew got away with that shit, and that was cold for Drew. That was cold as shit for Drew. I ain't even about to lie to you. I'm guessing Kane tied the nigga up and took him to the bar or whatever, you know, the bar that Monet and them own. So they got him there in front of Monet and Lorenzo, and you know, he started popping his shit. And he like, yeah, yo, I was hired to beat that dude up. So as soon as he say that, Lorenzo punched the shit out of him, and I'm just like, you don't want niggas to know. He like, yeah, he gonna say anything. He gonna say anything to save his ass in this moment. If he did that to him, he probably did that to Zeke. He like, I ain't do that to Zeke. Woo. So they get going back and forth, and Monet end up just blasting the nigga head off. And of course, Monet's favorite lines is that y'all need to go ahead and clean that shit up. So now Lorenzo think that that's the morning is over. He think that they didn't crack that case, and it's all said and done now. Yeah, okay. Lorenzo. So on the next scene, you got Sax going through Davis' fucking shit. Yeah, so you got Sax going through Davis' shit in his office, and he ends up finding his burner, and there's only one number in the burner, and he takes a picture of the number, and then he calls the number from the burner. Why the fuck did you call? Why would you call? So of course Monet answers, and he's like, Davis, I got everything I need on Zeke Killer, don't even worry about it. Sax don't say shit, he just hang the phone up. I'm like, oh no, that wasn't weird. That wasn't weird, Sax. Calling her answering, saying her piece, you not saying shit, and then hanging up. That wasn't weird. Effie is sitting there, and she's basically rewriting the code for course correct, and I'm just like, for what? For what? Course correct supposed to be shut down, bro. What you doing? What you doing? And she's sitting there, and she contemplating resharing the app to people, and I'm just like, Effie, don't get yourself killed. Please don't get yourself killed trying to do your own thing. Feeling like Tariq trying to slice you. Please don't, because it's just not worth it. You know what you did to Lauren. You should feel guilty, but please don't do this. Because this is going to get y'all all bagged and tagged. Leave fucking course correct where the fuck it was. Leave it. So, of course, you know, all the Western holding dudes, they coming back from their workouts and shit. They all excited. And they find new business cards. in their lockers, you know, and it say like, you know, you got a handle on it or whatever, and then it say like, you know, new protein powders available, da 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 da. And they like and looking like, what's this? And y'all know what the fuck it is. Y'all know what the fuck it is. Y'all are fucking cokeheads anyway. Y'all gonna look to get it wherever y'all can get it. It don't matter. So you got Kane basically loading up the bald head nigga into the car. He like, yeah, you know, Lorenzo propping him up because Lorenzo like, yeah, you know, you did that. You found your brother killer. Woody woody woo. And you know, Kane ain't buying it. So Kane basically tell him like, yeah, it's real funny how you reacted when he said that, you know, he was hired to do that. And, you know, I think I know this whole play. I think I know exactly how you figured it out. He like, I figured that you hired that nigga to jump on Zeke. You made it look like it was something that it wasn't by using the whole chain that you found in the box of shit that mommy was too weird to open. He like, you set this whole thing up because you killed Zeke. I was like, oh, shit. He was like, yeah, basically, I know that you killed Zeke. And Lorenzo started tripping like, what are you talking about? I ain't killed nobody. He like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. He like, yeah, I see that you got your tail light fixed. He like, yeah, I been got that fixed. He like, it's funny how mommy been asking you to find out who killed Zeke for weeks. And you couldn't. And it only took me a matter of time to find the pilot and the security guard. So he like, yeah, so basically, Kane flips the script and he tells Lorenzo, like, bitch, I own you now. Okay? So that product that I said I needed moved, here it is, and your ass will be fucking moving it. Because I know your secret. He like, I know your secret. And you kept saying that I wasn't ready for the business. No, you wasn't ready for me. I said, ooh. I said, but Lorenzo, he got you. He got you, bro. It ain't no denying it. You definitely killed this brother. You definitely killed Monet's son. It is what it is. Now move the product. I'm sorry. Just move the product. And granted, he want to sit there and talk about how he never meant to hurt their mother, this, that, and the third. Now, the way he explained it, the way he explained the story to Kane, it's very believable because that's exactly what happened. Now, the issue is the fact that he didn't tell. That he didn't tell that it was a mistake from the jump street. Like, he could have just told the truth and been like, I did it. It was an accident. And he could have got ahead of it. But no, you let the shit sit around. You let Monet sit there and fucking wallow. Like, nah, y'all. Kane got you by the balls now, bro. That was PowerBook 2, Season 3, Episode 2, Need versus Greed. And it just looked like shit could be getting a little bit better. I mean, they gonna be on the up and up with the whole Wall Street shit, but other than that, shit is crazy. Lawrence still out there. Saxe is on the outs. Now Saxe know that Davis be talking to Monet, so he know that what Jenny is saying is true about the connection between all of them. They might have enough for a RICO case. It's just a lot. Listen, y'all. So like I said, that was PowerBook 2. Season 3, Episode 2, Need versus Greed. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. HighTimez out.